good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Hey gifted crafters, welcome back for another Saturday CrafterNoon. Thank you all for tuning in today. I am tuning in from usually a sunny South Florida, but yeah, it's been pretty stormy and rainy, and I did have to go out to do a couple errands this morning and got a little bit soaked. So it is a great day to be in the craft room. It is a little wet outside today, and we're just going to push right through it. I'm hoping I don't lose any power today. We've got that storm kind of looming in. I'm hoping it just, continues, maybe push it out more west out that way. And I'm hoping that the guys up north from me don't get impacted too bad. We're expected to have some flooding. But hopefully things will just turn out just fine. I know I'll be in my craft room all day. I've got all my errands done for the day, so I'm hoping to be off that road and staying put. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I see you guys are chatting away, and we've got people from all over the place, from Maryland, Dover, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Claremont, Florida, California, Southwest Louisiana. I mean, I love that we just continue to connect with people from all over the world. It really makes me happy. So, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy and I'm with GiftsHQ. And on this channel, we talk about all things crafting, from sewing, embroidery, knitting, crochet, and any kind of craft you can think of. I like to try it out, share tips, tricks, and ideas. And this is just a place to kind of relax, have some fun, go on into the chat and make some friends. And we just like to have a great time. So I hope you really enjoy this today. So let me jump into the chat and say hello to a few friends I see out there. Hi, Crafting with Robin. I see Donna Phillips, Jackie Hallman, Judy Bauer, Marlene Corbett. I see 1 Minute Tips. I see Robin's Quilt Basket. Again, thank you guys for tuning in today. It's been a pretty busy household here. We've really kind of have been doing a lot of things, and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't get to see, but we like to change things up and do all kinds of things and try new tips and tricks, techniques to make this channel better. So a ton of work being done behind the scenes, and my hubby is really hard at work, and we are really trying to make things a lot better and bring really great content and ideas over to you guys. So I hope you guys will get to see the benefits of all of that work coming soon. So I am a holiday girl, and of course I've researched the holidays for today. It is National Mustard Day. So for you mustard lovers out there, you know, you can put some mustard on all kinds of stuff. Hot dogs is usually the thing for me. And also National Watermelon Day. So I don't know about putting mustard on watermelon, or maybe somebody's tried it. I don't know. Let me know. Doesn't really sound like it'd be too appetizing, but you know, it's an option, I guess, right? So those are the two holidays that I saw that are typically not on your normal calendar, but they are out there and they are legit holidays. I did see, Donna, you put on the chat, you saw it on my Facebook page. We're really excited because my son Herman, who is a athlete with Special Olympics, was selected to go to states. So we are going to be heading over to Sarasota, Florida, and they will be competing at Nathan Benderson Park. That will be coming up soon. In the month of August. So I'm excited about that, and we were just really happy that he made it to States and he's able to go and compete again. So we're getting ready for that, among the many other things that we're doing. So definitely a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, Donna says, off the subject here, but Nancy, your hair's so gorgeous, thick and shiny. My hair has been thinning when I hit the 70s, but I remember having an abundance of hair to style. You're lovely. Oh, thank you, Donna. You're so sweet. Well, it's a little bit wet and today because I did get soaked going out and doing like groceries and stuff. So I was putting stuff in the car and running back and forth and putting them from the house to the car. I did kind of get a little wet, so maybe shiny, but it's probably just because it's a little wet. But thank you though, I really appreciate that. Okay, so couple things that we are, for those of you who are members, we had a little meeting and I gave the information out for the block that we are doing. So I went ahead and started doing my practice blocks, and so I have been sewing away and getting the blocks ready, and this is what my selected fabric looks like. So I was getting my blocks ready for the quilt that we are making, and we're going to be moving at a pretty fast pace in the next couple of sessions because we're going to get this thing done. And I did a practice one so that I can really figure out where the pain points are, where things can go kind of wrong. I sometimes don't necessarily follow the directions on purpose so that I can know what happens if you don't follow directions. So I like to kind of play and do pre-planning on for something that we're going to be doing so that I can show you what you shouldn't do and what's going to happen if you do things a certain way. So I have all of my notes ready for that. So we're going to be getting ready to kind of move forward on that. So I hope you guys have selected your fabrics, and we're going to be talking a little bit more on that pretty soon. So Judy, I'm sending out the block info. It's going to be on the community, and I'm going to be putting that information. It's going to have the block information as well as, if I can pull it out, give me a second. Oh, got a little squish, but this is kind of the quilt block sample that we're going to have. I can show that to you. So this is like a little quilt block sample, and we're going to be talking about what to do with your fabrics. We're going to prep our fabrics together. Then we're going to talk about cutting, directions, and all that on our next meeting. So stay tuned because that next meeting is maybe a little bit longer than normal because I want to make sure that we give you all the information that you will have. Robin, I'm going to put how much fabric you're going to need for each of those. We kind of talked about it. Since we are using the Quilters Builder card deck to do this, what we have is a basic layout that we're making of the quilt itself, and you're going to need about a yard of 4 different fabrics. So 1 yard of each. So it's a total of 4 yards in total, but it's 1 yard of each fabric that you're picking. I have 4 different fabrics, and I'll pull this block back out here. I have 4 different fabrics. I've got the gray, the beige, I've got one with a pattern that I wanted to put on here, and then I have like a kind of a darker tan brown, I guess you can call it. And this is kind of all within the same color family. I chose just one pattern because I wanted that to kind of stand out in the block itself. So that's what I started putting together, and I did start sewing. Let me just grab that 1 second. I started, this one's a little in need of an iron. Sorry, I think I'm bumping things around here. It's in the need of an iron here, but I did start to piece the rows together, and you can see how that kind of comes out. So you can see how the pattern that I picked kind of pops more, and then the colors kind of stay muted a little bit in the background, but this is basically what it'll look like, and I'll kind of hold it up a little. There you go. And so it is 5, these are 12-inch blocks, so they're pretty large blocks, so it comes together pretty quickly because the blocks are so large. And so we're going to do 5 of these blocks going across and then 6 down. So I've put together my method of how to get this done and get it done quickly. Oops, yeah, the electricity is kind of on and off here. Oh boy, I hope we don't lose power. I really hope we don't. But you never know here. I mean, it is Florida. So I did put this together, and I have this ready to go with the steps and some things. And sorry, I apologize. Some of my printers are kind of resetting now because we kind of lost power for a little bit. But I did start to put all of the tips and all of the steps that we would take in order to make this a quilt that is going to be done pretty quickly. And it's kind of in an assembly type fashion, so we were able to do one specific type of technique and do that all the way through. And as you continue to repeat that same technique, you become better and better at it. So it allows you to get a lot of the practice in to be able to make that technique great. And maybe the first few times that you either sew it or, you know, whatever the task is, are not that great, but by the end of you doing that technique so many times, you will become more proficient at it. And so your block will become better and better. And so you'll start to get that nice, clean look on it. So, you know, that's kind of the way I like to kind of teach things, is to give you that technique, show you the technique, how's the right way to do it, things to look out for, things not to do, and why you will not be doing those things, what the impact is to doing that method or doing that specific step. And then once you continue to repeat that, it kind of like gets into your brain, and so you'll remember it better because you've done it a number of times, and the technique just kind of gets ingrained, and then you kind of just start to continue to do it better. I mean, that's how I like to kind of teach things. And so that's why we're going to do this quilt in an assembly style fashion, so you can continue to become better and better and better as you go along. And by the time we finish the entire quilt, you would have picked up many different techniques. And so when you're ready to tackle your next quilt, you can bring that technique with you, and you'll continue to build up your skills. So that's what I'm hoping to do with our members. If you haven't joined, still time for you to join. Again, it's just 4 yards of fabric, 1 fabric color of each that you're going to do. You'll want to keep them in the same color family, but we're gonna be kind of going full speed ahead. So I did want to get some more information out to you guys, but I've been having these allergy issues lately that have just really dampened my time. I've had these allergies like have gotten super bad, and my skin has kind of flared up, and it's been just a challenge for me lately. But it's starting to get better, and I'm starting to feel a little better, and I just can't wait to see my allergist soon. So okay, so that's just a couple of the announcements. Again, last week, if you didn't tune in, that was live number 101, and we did our open house Rincoma. I went to the location, we saw some machines. I tried to do a really in-depth information for you guys with the machines and showing you what they do and what's coming up. So a couple of new machines that are not really out just yet. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. It is a pretty detailed video on the embroidery equipment and items that they have coming out. So a lot of fun there. Had a great time with that. So this week we have a couple of things that I want to show you. First, we're gonna talk about some fabric that I brought from Keepsake Quilting. And Keepsake Quilting is a company that when I went to the last expo in Lakeland, Florida, they did have a booth there. We were able to talk to them. It's a great little company there. They're quite great quilt shop. Let me just grab that here. And I did get some fabrics that I was able to order, so I just wanted to kind of show those over to you guys. I'm going to kind of take it out of here so that I can show that to you. Bring that down here. Okay, so I did have one fabric in mind that I bought, and it's specifically for a project that I've been wanting to start, but I haven't been able to find just the right fabric to go with the embroidery. So in that same expo that I went to, I did buy a design, and it's a mylar embroidery design from a company called Pearly Gates, and this is their card right here. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and really nice. They have a ton of mylar embroidery designs, and I was able to purchase one. It's called a hot air balloon design that I bought, but I haven't found the fabric that I could kind of do that as my background fabric with until now. So I was super happy once I saw this, and so I went ahead and I purchased this, and I did get a few because I am going to be making a few. And so it's just fabric that has like the clouds on there, and I thought that would just be the perfect backdrop for that type of design, where it's going to be hot air balloons with mylar embroidery just kind of floating within the clouds. And so took me a while, but I finally found the fabric that I wanted. And this specific fabric is called, let's see if I can get the selvage on this end so I can read it. It is called Timeless Treasures, and that's from Soho LLC is who the designer is of this fabric. And I just think it's gorgeous. It's going to look so beautiful with the embroidery design on it, and I'm going to be using mylar, so we'll really make it pop and shimmer a little bit there. So that's one of my projects that I kind of have off to the side that I'll be working on, and I'll let you know how it goes as I continue to work on this one. So this is one of the fabrics that I bought. The other two fabrics, they're kind of I thought they were nice colors, especially for the upcoming fall. And this is kind of a terracotta fabric. I don't know if the camera will do it justice. It kind of probably makes it look red, but it's not really red. It's like a very fallish color. It's just really pretty for fall, and I can see I'm going to kind of chop off maybe a chunk of it and have it specifically for applique, because there's a lot of applique pieces that I have for fall that could probably use this type of fabric, but I do want to hold the rest of it for another type of project that I'm looking at doing, and this is the perfect color for that. And then the other one that I got is just a muted little beige color, so very plain and simple, but I'm trying to keep myself getting more and more of the solid colors, because I do have a lot of pattern fabric, and I want to try to stay away of purchasing any more patterns. I want to keep it more solids, because now that I have enough of the patterns, I can use these as the backdrops and as the pieces that kind of coordinate with it. Now, they do have, Keepsake Quilting has a pretty popular fabric. It is a black fabric, and it's called Amish Black. And a lot of people, I mean, they have been sold out on some of this for a while. A lot of people have really been hopping into this specific fabric because this Amish Black fabric is really, you can see the quality in it. Like if you can kind of compare it to another black fabric that I can get from a typical store, you can see that this has a nice deep dark black to it, and it won't fade as you kind of wash it out. So it's a very good quality, and it really will make something pop. So you can imagine something like a really deep red coordinating against this dark black fabric. It will really pop. And so for Christmas, I thought this is going to be a beautiful fabric, and I haven't been able to get the fabric because they kept selling out of it every time they would put it on, but I was finally able to pick some up, and I was able to get 2 yards of it. Again, this one's called Amish Black, and it's from Keepsake Quilting, and it's really a nice black fabric that really holds its color. It's not faded or anything like that. Donna says a maroon colored fabric is also good for fall color. Trees like sweet gum and maple have leaves in maroon when they turn in the fall. Also, berries that mature in the fall are maroon. Yeah, Donna, those would be really pretty colors. Absolutely, especially for the fall. So, you know, that's where I'm trying to lean myself towards just sticking to solids for right now. And there's just so many things that you can do with solids for all the different blocks that are out there too. So that's another kind of reason for that. And, you know, just trying to keep myself limited on buying some of this stuff too. So that's just something I wanted to show you. Again, this was all from Keepsake Quilting. They did have a little sale, and they hold sales all the time, and you can get coupon codes and things from their website. I really liked that quilting company. The people there were amazing, and they were just a joy. So I really like to support them. So those were definitely fun. So Marlene's asking, did you get your fabrics online? Yes, I did, Marlene, because when I was at the expo, they had completely run out of the Amish Black, and they had tons of others there, but there were tons of people too. So I just kind of made note of what I wanted, and then, you know, I ordered it online, and it came pretty quickly, shipped out right away. So no issues there. They're pretty big. A lot of people know who they are and buy a lot of fabrics from them. So, you know, I don't think you will be disappointed if you go over to them. Let's see. Donna says, since your project for us has a lot of solids, I'm glad it has a few colors. Yeah, I tried to pick a project that didn't go too crazy with like 7-8 different fabrics, right? I wanted to keep it really simple. I wanted to keep it manageable, especially if you are a beginner. You know, you don't want to feel just completely overwhelmed with so many different fabrics. So I tried to keep the pattern itself to be very simple also. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and I'm just glad you're in for the journey, and we're gonna have a great time putting it together. Okay, so let's talk about something else that we have, and I'm probably gonna have to just kind of stand up for this because I want to just show you something else that I purchased, and this was during the Amazon Prime Day. I did purchase an Epson EcoTank ET4800, and I'm going to show that over to you. So let me just bring that over. Give me 1 second. It's a pretty big box. Let's see if I can bring it this way for you. It's a pretty big box, and this is what it looks like. You know, it's nice because I've been eyeing this printer for a while, and I can tell you, and I'll kind of just bring it down here a little bit Maybe you can see it from this side since it's just so big. So I've been looking at this printer and eyeing it for a while. Now, typically the price on this printer ranged from $240 to $250. And since Amazon Day, it got priced down to about $199. So pretty good deal on this. We checked again this morning and it's still around that same price. So although we got it on Amazon Day, you can still get this printer at that pretty good price. So I was happy about this because I wanted to give a try on sublimation, and I know a bunch of you already done a lot of sublimation, and there's a lot of things going on with that, but I wanted to be able to make things for a lot of the kids, and I think sublimation will be the perfect way for me to be able to make more things for them. So I really wanted to give it a try. So this is going to be my sublimation printer. So I was really excited about that. And we're going to kind of just dabble a little bit into that world. And I will let you know how this goes. So I have to figure out where I'm going to put this and get a little home for this so that I can work this printer. It is going to be, we're going to be using the sublimation ink for this printer, so we will not be using regular ink when we set it up. So if you get a printer and you want to make sure that for the best results when you buy a new printer, especially these EcoTank printers, that if you're going to use it for sublimation, that you use only sublimation ink on that. And let's see, Donna says, I have the larger EcoTank printer. Awesome, with 11 by 17 capability. Wow. The ink lasts forever and it's reasonably priced. The ink bottle fits into the slotted holder and it's filling, so it's easy for refill. Awesome. Love it. Love it. So yeah, I got excited about this. I think it's a great price. It's a great deal. So now I'm able to kind of dabble a little bit on that. So that's going to be a lot of fun to do. So, you know, it's just something that I wanted to share with you guys because I'm going to try my hand on this and see how it goes. So it'll be a lot of fun to do that. So I wanted to kind of just show that to you. So let me just set this down a little bit here. Okay. So those are a couple of things that's going on. I did also get something else that I ordered, and I've kind of already used it on the quilt itself, is I got a wool quilter's clapper. And this is from Madame Sew is where I ordered it from, but you can also order it from Amazon as well. I just got a good deal on it at the time. So this is what the box looks like, and this is what the wool clapper looks like. Now, I have my regular clapper. Love it to death. Still use it. Absolutely will never give this one up because it does help to keep your seams nice and crisp. But this specific one is a wool clapper, and you can see here it's got that raised piece and the wool on top. And what this is going to do, especially for you quilters out there, is when you are piecing together things and you are nesting at the seams and you are trying to hit each one of those points, it is nice to be able to kind of lay, let's say you're doing a half square triangle, lay that half square triangle seams right here, and it's almost like, because of the angle of this, it kind of opens it up so that you can hit it with that iron, and then it will really make that seam nice and crisp and flat. So it really opens up the material for you to be able to hit that angle, and then you hit it with the iron right on the bar here, and it's really like a world of difference when you are working with that. So I will definitely be using this as we do the quilt, but this is a really nice tool to have, and I didn't know it existed for a while. I always just had the regular clapper, but when you are using things like half square triangles and piecing things together, this is a great tool to have because it really does open up the seam to allow you to hit it with that iron and get that nice crisp seal that you want on those. So something that I bought, definitely already started using it and I love it. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. Okay, so the last thing that I had was to show you how to make a small wallet. Now I did this relatively quickly. It's not a difficult project at all. I just kind of winged it. And so I have here just a tiny, looks like a little coin purse. You can put some Velcro here. You can use a cam snap to close it up. But once you open it up, it has 3 little slots here for you to be able to put like credit cards or any little knickknacks that you want. Cute little purse. You can kind of just throw it in your bag. Very simple to do. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about making one of these. They are super neat to do. I mean, if you're looking for a quick little project, something that you want to gift someone, I mean, this is just perfect for that. It's very nice. You can fit little business cards, credit cards, things like that in here. You can definitely fit it in the slot. And then if you wanted to put a cam snap, you can do that as well. Or you can just put a piece of Velcro to just keep that closed. Or you could just kind of leave the flap open. I mean, it's really depends what you want to use it for. So thought it was a cute little project, and I thought, you know, I'd give you guys some tips on that because it's pretty simple to do. So let's just kind of look at that really quick. What I did was I grabbed a piece of fabric. And you can look in your stash. It does need to be a pretty long piece. So you're looking at about, it's 5" by 27". I actually wanted it to come out a little bit larger. So width-wise. So I would recommend 6" by 27". That will make this a little bit wider. Now if you like this size, then go ahead and go with the 5". I just wanted to make mine just a little bit wider, so I just kind of made it 1" inch more. And then the first thing what you're going to want to do is, once you cut out this fabric, you're going to also want to use a strip of Shape Flex interfacing. And this is just a lightweight fusible interface, so it doesn't necessarily have to be this Pellon brand right here. You can also use Bolzel or whatever your favorite lightweight interfacing fabric would be. That would be totally fine. You're not going to use so much of it. Like, you're just going to need that strip. So whatever you cut this out to be, whether it's 5" by 27" or 6" by 27". You're going to want to cut the interfacing to be just slightly less than that. Like, you will want to just kind of cover the thing, but you can leave about a 1/4 inch on the sides to not have that interface. I mean, it's totally up to you. You can also cut it to the same size. It's just, I wanted to kind of minimize the bulk of it, because one of the challenges that you'll have is kind of sewing through all of that bulk on the edges here. So that's why I'm saying if you can minimize anywhere you can, that would be one place where you could minimize the bulk and just cut your interface to be about a 1/4 inch less on each side, just so you're not on the edges there. And the reason I say that is because we are going to fold the edges. So one of the first steps after you've cut your fabric is you go ahead and you fold all the way around the fabric. So what we're doing is basically hiding the raw edges. So you will want to, and let me see if I can kind of put this in an angle so you guys can see everything here. Here we go. That works. Okay. So what I've done is I went ahead and folded this over, and then I went all the way down the line. Now I did use, and I don't know if you guys have one, it'd be great, but they do have, you can use this one, or they do have fabric glue sticks that you can get at Joann's, or you can just use a temporary glue stick for fabrics. They do have the regular glue sticks. I guess you could use this one, but I prefer to use a fabric glue stick so it doesn't gum up your needles when you're trying to sew. So you just need one of these glue sticks, and then just go ahead and you just want to have it hold down the fold. And then I just hit it with an iron to just kind of seal it so it stays folded. This is not sewn. You're not going to sew it. You're just going to fold it over just so you are hiding the raw edges on here. Then once you have done that, and you're going to fold this entire side here, you're going to fold this side here, and then you're going to fold the ends on top so these are nice and folded. So you're going to have a nice flat piece of fabric with the interfacing on it, because you've already ironed on the interface. So make sure that the fusible side is facing down. You're gonna onto the ugly side of the fabric, right? So we want the nice pretty side of the fabric to be laying down, and you'll set the interface on top. Go ahead and follow the manufacturer's instructions on putting the interface, the fusible interface on there. So once you have that, and you've folded these over, if you don't want to use glue, you don't have to. I know Judy Bauer, where are you? You're there. Yes, I know you were having some issues with the glue, but remember, we're not using the Elmer's glue. We're going to be using the glue stick, and we are not going to put globs of glue on there. This is just very light, just to hold it in place. If you don't want to use the glue, you don't have to. I would recommend then just to take your iron and just iron this down. Eventually this will be sewn down, but you want to make sure that it kind of stays in place, because you don't want your raw edges to show. Marlene's asking what is interfacing stick on fabric. So the interface that I'm talking about, and the one that I specifically used for this project, is the Pelon SF101. This is the Shape Flex interface, and this is what the package looks like. You can pick these up at your local Walmart. You can go at Joann's. You know, they sell them by the bolt also. I have a bunch of these small ones because they had a sale, so I picked up a bunch of them when they were on sale. But they have them at Joann's all the time. I think they had them at 50% off. I don't know if it's still on, but they always have sales now and then at Joann on the interfacing. And this is what, let me just show you a piece of what it looks like. This one's kind of already cut up, but this is what it will look like. And it's a very lightweight drapey interface. It is lightweight interface. So it's really nice because it will not stiffen your fabric to the point that it will just be so stiff and it won't move. It still leaves it nice and pliable, but it gives it that little bit of interface to stiffen it just a tad, which is all you need for this specific project. And this fabric will be on top. And then on the back side of the interface, you're going to feel it with your hand. It's going to feel very rough. And that's because the other side of this fabric has a bunch of glue dots. And this is the adhesive side of the interface. So when you put this together, you're going to put the back side of your fabric, and you're going to go ahead and cut out the size that you need. And you're going to place the interface on top and then just hit it with the iron. The iron will melt the glue dots that are on the back of this, and it will adhere to your fabric. So that when you are done, your fabric will now have this nice interfacing on the back side. Gives it a little bit more stability, makes it just a little bit stiffer, not too much, but it's enough for it to hold the shape and be able to make the project. So that's why I recommend to use that lightweight interfacing. Otherwise, if you just use the regular fabric, it's not going to be enough to give it enough stabilization to be able to make the project. It will be really, how can I say it, very flimsy. It's going to be very light. And if you compare, this is just one strip of the fabric itself. The fabric itself is very light and airy and will move around, but once you have put the interface on it, it is still light enough, but it has a little bit of that stiffness to give it that solid background that you need in order to be able to maneuver the project around as you need to. So let me just go on to the next steps that you're going to need to do. So once you have your interfacing onto your fabric and you went ahead and you did your folds all the way around, now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to grab your ruler and you're going to be marking up that fabric. So you can use, and for this purpose I'll use this one because it shows up pretty well on the camera, but just use one of your fabric marking pens that will disappear either when you put water on it or when it gets hit with the iron. You got those heat erasable ones. Those are the best ones to use. But you're going to want to grab your ruler and grab one of these marking pens because you are going to go ahead and measure out. You're going to want to measure out 4.5 inches from your fold. So right from the fold that you have here, you're going to want to measure 4.5 inches in. And I want you to then go ahead and take your marker, and let me just make sure that I am nice and aligned. Go ahead and take your marker. Now I'm usually left-handed, but I'll go ahead and attempt this with my right. Just go ahead and mark your fabric, and you're doing this on the back side of your fabric. So go ahead and mark it there. And then I want you to go to the other side and do the same thing. At 4.5 inches, you're going to want to go ahead and mark the fabric as well on the back side of the fabric. So we've got a line here and we've got a line here. So you've got your two lines here on the end. The next thing that you are going to do is on the right side of your project, let's go ahead and measure 10 inches. So you're going to want to do 10 inches again from the fold of your fabric. You're going to measure 10 inches and draw a line. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll do 10 inches here. And I'll go ahead and draw my line for that one. Okay, so now you have 3 lines that you drew on the back of your fabric. The next thing you want to do is you want to flip the fabric around so that you see the right side of your fabric facing you. And when you do that, you're going to want to do 2.25 inches from the fold. So now we're back on the left hand side here, and I'm going to measure out 2.25 inches. Let me just move this a little closer towards me. So 2.25 inches. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is why it's important to use the right materials. Make sure that the pen that you are using is either the water marker pen that'll disappear when it gets wet, or if you want to use the heat markers, those are probably better because when you hit it with the iron, it will disappear. Of which I have one somewhere around here. This is what that one looks like. I'm not going to use this one because it won't really show up on the camera, and I want you guys to be able to see. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'll just spritz it with some water later on. So I'm going to go ahead and make that line on here. And then I'm going to go to, again, the other side. And you're going to want to mark it at 2.5 inches. So go to 2.5 inches. And again, make your mark. And then you're going to have one final mark that you're going to be making, and that's going to be at 7 inches. So on the same side that you're on, go to your 7-inch mark, and then go ahead and draw that line. Okay, and so now you end up with 3 lines that you drew on the front of the fabric, and you also have 3 lines that you drew on the back of the fabric. And so basically what you set up your fabric right now for is the folds. So we're going to go over to the iron, and the next thing you're going to want to do is iron on these folds. So you're going to want to take this, and you're going to want to go to your iron, and we're going to want to go to our first line that we drew, and we're going to want to fold it. And you're going to want to hit it with the iron on this fold right here. Okay. You're going to want to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and hit that with the iron. And I'm just kind of finger pressing it for now, just in the sake of time. And then you're going to want to go to the third fold, and you're also going to want to iron it. Now, one thing you'll want to do is be careful that when you're folding it, that you're not running your iron all the way through and then undo the fold that you did here. You're only going to want to press the areas that you're folding. So just hit the iron on this line here, and on the third line here. Okay, so once you've hit those 3 areas, you're going to flip your fabric around, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to go to all of the markings that you did on your fabric, and you're going to go ahead and fold that on that line. Go ahead and hit that with the iron. Then you're going to want to do the same thing on the 2 lines that you have on the other side. So here's that other line here, and I think this one was the 7 inches, and here as well. So let's just pretend that I went ahead and ironed all of these, because once you've done that, you're pretty much almost done, believe it or not. Because at this point, now all you're going to do is you're going to fold this up. And so when you've folded this up, and you bring all the folds together, you're going to see that you have now, just kind of bring this in. Once you've folded this up here, you're going to see how this then becomes your wallet. So when you've done this, I think this measures out to be, see here, yeah, it's about a good 12 inches or so when you lay it out. But once you have this down and you'll start to fold it up, you're going to see these then become the slots that you're going to use in your wallet. So you see how we have the 3 slots here? Those are going to become the slots on your wallet. And so all you'll need to do at this point is you're going to just want to sew it all the way around. And so when you sew all the way around, and I'll kind of just move this for a minute here. Once you sew all the way around and you bring this together, then you want to also decide, do you want to have a curve on your wallet? So some people will have a curve here. Some people will just leave it flat. It's really up to you. If you decide to do the curve, you could do it pretty simply. Just take a cup or a plate, something that actually has a curve. Here's a little pencil holder that has the curve, and you would place it right up against the fabric, and I'll do that on the fold itself, right? And you want to make sure that you cut on that curve. Now I would leave maybe about a 1/4 inch from the top when you're doing that, so that when you make that cut, it's nice and clean, and have that 1/4 inch seam on the top to give yourself some room to be able to stitch that into place. And then once you have this all sewn up, it's basically just turning it inside out. And when you turn it inside out, it's basically going to look, and I'll see if I can undo my turn on here. Kind of hard to undo it, but see if I can pop it back out. It's going to look like this. See, when you have it all sewed up, you're going to sew the sides here. Now you're going to come into the sides where they are pretty bulky. And so this is where I was saying, you know, if you can avoid putting interfacing on the edges, go ahead and do that, because the less bulk, the easier it is to sew here. You also may want to, when you're putting this together, as you start to kind of put these together, you're going to notice you're going to have a lot of bulk here on the side. What some people also do is they take, if they take the inner folds here, they will sometimes cut about a 1/4 inch here, so that this does not become part of that seam on the edges. Oh boy, looks like we are going to be losing electricity soon, so I'm going to try to speed through the rest of this. So as you can see here, that's going to give you some additional bulk, and if your machine struggles through going through a lot of bulk on the fabric, I'd recommend a walking foot on that. But that would be definitely a place where you want to cut some of the yardage in there so you don't have this big bulk here. But once you're done sewing this all the way around and you've gone around the curve, you're going to then want to have this side here where you're going to have this extra pocket, and then you're going to have the two sides here. You're going to want to go ahead and flip this over. So I'll try to flip it back again for you, and you'll have to kind of take out your little purple thing, or if you use a chopstick or a stiletto, whatever it is that you use, go ahead and pull it out and then pop out the corners on this. They're going to be a little difficult depending on how much bulk you have in here. Now, for this specific example, I didn't take out a lot of the bulk, so I do have a ton of bulk, but my machine is a little work machine, so it kind of just went through it. But definitely once you've done that and you've turned that in, it becomes your third slot, so you end up with 3 slots on here on your little wallet. And so then you can go ahead and put this cam snap if you wanted. You could top stitch it. You don't really need to at this point, but it does give it a nice clean finish, so you could do that as well. And then you just kind of fold that over and you'll have your nice little wallet. So it is pretty easy to do. You know, I kind of showed you where you have to draw the lines and make the folds, hit it with your iron, and then go ahead and just put this together, and you're gonna see how this will really turn out to be a really cute, simple, easy little wallet that you can use for yourself, or you can give as a gift, or maybe even just go ahead and sell at a craft show. And if you get some really cute little fabrics, you would definitely want to use that. Now, I would stay away from maybe some directional fabrics because there is a lot of turning and looping. And so because you're using one continuous long strip, if you use that directional fabric, you're going to notice that some of your things may be a little bit upside down, whether it be on the flap or on this side here. So try to stay away from directional fabrics for this particular project, but there's some beautiful designs out there that you'll have plenty to choose from, I'm sure. So I am going to kind of call it a day. Our lights are flickering here, and I am not sure how much longer we're going to have power, so I do need to kind of get ready a little bit here. But thank you guys for tuning in, and for you members out there, just look out for the information. It's got some more stuff coming up soon, and I'll be setting some dates for us to be meeting and then starting to work on this quilt. So get your fabrics and all your tools ready. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
Nancy with GiftsHQ makes crafting videos, creating with passion and a love for what she sews. Crochet, quilting, and sewing, crafting is what she knows. Making smiles one craft at a time. Your talent will grow with every stitch and every thread she weaves her art. Her hands create something special straight from the heart. And as the colors come alive, the joy spreads near and far. Nancy and her gifted crafter.